Hey gang, how you doing? Jonathan here for Tailhunter Sportfishing, and it's time once again for the Mexican Minute LAPAZ video fishing report, coming to you from LAPAZ, Baja, Mexico, and covering all of the fishing action for our Tailhunter Sportfishing fleet for the dates of the 29th of September through the 5th of October 2023. Wherever you are, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for checking in, and if you like what we're doing, please do us a big favor, give us a thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Well, let's jump right into it. You know, you've been listening to my fishing reports all year, and we've just had the most fantastic, great, super year that I can remember in the 30 years we've been down here. It's been great. Best Dorado bite, biggest Dorado we've seen. It's been pretty spectacular. Well, something happened this last week. We've gone from hero to zero, for lack of better words. Things just fell off the boards. I don't know what happened. I'm trying to say it's the full moon because we had this big, giant full moon this week and it seemed to last forever. But it wasn't like we had great fishing and then it kind of diminished little by little. It was great fishing, and then the next day there were no fish. The ocean just dried up. The waters it turned into a desert. I've never had a situation, I'll be honest with you, even my captains are saying they've never seen a situation where the bite literally just turned off, just like a big switch. The waters got dirty, they got green, and usually when the waters turn green or dirty, I usually attribute that to colder water moving in, but that's completely different than what we've got right now. The air temperatures got cooler. It dropped from the high 90s to the high 80s, but the waters are 86 degrees. It's like bath water. The waters got warmer, in fact, and it was almost like we had a second plankton bloom, if that makes any sense. The waters got green, they got dirty, and the fish disappeared. We had boats coming back. You know, every now and then we have boats come back and they go, wow, we didn't do so well. We caught a lot of bonita, we caught a lot of trigger fish, we caught this, that, the other thing. We just didn't get the big fish or the kind of fish that we wanted to take home or to eat or whatever. But there was always some action. This week, I actually had boats coming back going, we didn't even get a hookup. We didn't even catch a bonita. We didn't even hook a needlefish. Imagine that. Captain's telling me we looked here, there, and everywhere we went, the waters were warm or the waters were green. There was no current. There was nothing working on the surface. There were no birds. There was no bait. It was just the weirdest thing I've seen in a long, long time. In fact, I can't remember it just turning that quickly. Over at the La Paz side, things did get a little better as the week went on. We started seeing some Dorado, but the guys spent several days, our captain spent several days looking for the blue water and finally found it way outside, way further than we normally get, and there are some Dorado there. So we started recovering a little bit, and maybe that had something to do with the fact that that full moon started to diminish a little bit. However, for our Las Arenas fleet, where the tuna finally started biting, where we finally figured we had a tuna bite, for the year, well, that sort of dried up. So did the Dorado bite, and we've had, like I say, a fantastic Dorado bite. The Dorado, I don't know where they went. Well, I know where they went. Some of our guys put lead on, and some of the captains dropped lead down, and they found Dorado. Check this out. I talked to my captain Victor, talked to Pancho, talked to Gerardo, you know, some of our most popular captains. They found Dorado 200 to 300 feet below the surface. That tells me the waters are really, really warm on top. They're so warm that maybe there's just no oxygen. Too dirty, too warm, no oxygen on top, and these surface fish went down deep. We caught a couple of Dorado, you know, not big, maybe 15, 20 pounders, 200 to 300 feet down. Think about that. The other thing is that suddenly there's no bait. We've had no problems with bait all season. Lots of sardines, other types of bait. This last week, the bait for our Las Arenas fleet, almost impossible to find. Now, there's a lot of folks fishing, so that means there's a lot of pressure on the bait areas, but for the most part, if you got a handful of live bait, you're considered pretty lucky. The rest has been dead bait, frozen bait. We've even started using squid to catch some of the fish, and it's just some really, really tough. Listen, tip of the hat, all the props in the world to our folks that were down this week. Everyone hung in there. They worked hard. The captains worked hard. I thank you all that were down here for all of your patience. You all kept smiling. Nobody complained about it. Everybody just kept saying, hey, that's fishing. We're going to go at it. We can't catch any fish if we don't have a line in the water. And everybody just worked hard for the fish that we did get. Now, you're going to see the fishing gallery, and it looks like we had a pretty good week. For every one of those fish that you see there, there was a lot of downtime. And those, you're not going to see a lot of big fish. You're not going to see the tables of fish or everybody holding up giant fish, because it was just very, very tough fishing this week. I don't know if that's going to continue. I don't know if this season has finally changed. Normally our season goes till about the end of October, beginning of November. That's when the northern winds start blowing, and that pretty much shuts everything down. Things get colder, the waters get rougher, and then from November to April we pretty much consider that to be our off season. But in the last couple of days, the northern winds have already started blowing. The waters in some areas have started getting colder, even though I said that we do have a lot of warm water around, hot water as a matter of fact. The northern winds have started blowing, and if they blow consistently, the waters are going to start cooling off. The waters have gotten rough right on the Malecon, right in front of all of the hotels and all the shops. There were some days where the water was just so turned up, and there were big waves actually hitting the Malecon, with waves above the cement walkway splashing the cars. So I don't know if this was just something that an anomaly that had something to do with the full moon, or if the seasons are finally changing about 4 weeks ahead of time, and now we're really going to be looking at some, I don't know, some sticky fishing. I don't know. The moon is diminishing. Hopefully things are going to get better. Our LAPAZ fleet did find some Dorado, and they're starting to get a better bite. Las Arenas has been quite honestly hit or miss. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. Hopefully by the next time I catch you next week on the next report, things will have a better outlook. But I just want to be straight up with you and tell you, this last week fishing was really tough, and I really appreciate everyone who was down here and hung in with us, kept smiling, kept laughing, did their best. Our captains who really, really worked hard to find the fish and did whatever they could to get our folks on fish. Appreciate you all. So hopefully next week we'll have something better to tell you about. In the meantime, take a look at the fishing gallery and know that, for a while, I'll tell you what, I only had 2 pictures earlier in the week. I had a picture of a tuna, I had 1 picture of a Dorado, and I had a needlefish photo. That's all I had until a few days ago. So anyway, that's going to be a quick wrap up for the Mexican Minute. I'm Jonathan down here in La Paz. You take care. Thanks for checking in. Take care of each other. God bless. We'll catch you in a week.